Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums, 'tis I, Captain of the Steves. And today, chums, for you guys in the viewerverse, I've got some news for No Man's Sky. Yes, actual news in January. Yeah, it's pretty much unheard of. Something's happened over on the Twitterverse that sends the interwebs into a frenzy. Let me jump on over to the Tinterweb and show you what I mean. So Sean of the Murray, 10 hours ago, about 10 PM UK time, tweeted out a singular emoji. Now for any of those new to No Man's Sky, whenever that happens, whenever Sean of the Murrays puts out a singular emoji, it's usually a massive hint that there's an update coming. It usually comes the following week, about midweek, around a Wednesday. But there's usually patterns that happen before the emoji happens. One of the things that never happens is an emoji drop during an expedition. The Cursed has only just started. We're only 2 days into the Cursed. This emoji is very curious. This emoji is of a ringed planet. Now in the past we've had emojis like an orange, which was for oranges, or we had a little robot for exomech. Sometimes it can be a direct link. Other times it just can be a hint towards a name drop. Now so far I've been lucky and managed to guess the name of Fractal and Aquarius. But other than that, a lot of these updates, although I've done speculation, they've been rather hit and miss in the past. It's very hard to speculate and discern what might be coming into the verse. And even more so, now that that Bomber Boy has pointed out that the branches and depots have been removed over on Steam, meaning that it's not really a viable method of checking for an incoming update. So when I say there was patterns, we used to check the depots. So if I go over to the depots now, you can see here it only shows public. We can't see experimental branch, and we can't see the internal branch. Internal branch is a hint that they're doing something in the Hello Games studio. External branch is when they put it over to PC for people to test, and public is when it goes live for everyone. We haven't got that view into the Hello Games verse. Now, whenever things go into the external branch, that's when data mining happens, and there's already been some data mining happen around Worlds Part 1, which showed that there's these giant mech golems that might be coming into game, there's some purple planets that might be coming into game, transparent bioluminescent creatures, which we actually got as an award inside of Cursed, so they're kind of made an appearance. But there's a heck of a lot inside of that data mining, including some more underwater biomes and hints that water might be getting deeper at some stage and more dangerous. The deeper you dive, the more damage you take. That might be coming in Worlds Part 2 or ARG Part 4, or it might not ever come. It might just be something that Hello Games was toying with. In the files in the past, we even found lifts for freighters. They never came into the game, and now they've disappeared from the files altogether. So it was just an idea. So we never know 100% from data mining what will appear and what won't appear. Another thing that we check on is to see if it's on sale. Usually we have the sales occur before an emoji drops. Right now the game is remaining at full price, people, full price. And I've even checked on Steam as well. So over on Steam, still full price, $49.99. Okay, so the normal signs have not happened in the normal order. Also, we often check the Quicksilver store to see if it needs a replenishment. Right now, there is loads of stuff inside of here that we don't got. We're actually unlocking, where are we right now? We are actually on, despite what the app is saying, we've just unlocked these two. We've got to unlock those two. The numbering order has been thrown out. I mean, we should be getting all these decals at some point, and we haven't had all of these as yet. We had the floating tassel lily, which was here. It jumped, and now it's jumped back again. It's all gone to shite, really, on the actual Quicksilver store. But there's a load in the Quicksilver store, so that's not a sign either. So we haven't got many hints or clues to go by. Now, when Worlds Part 1 came out, Sean in an actual trailer said there's more yet to come. If I can find that clip, I'll put it right now so you can take a listen.
The update is called Worlds Part 1 because I guess there's much more to come.
Now, when you actually booted into Worlds Part 1, if you hit the patch notes, it did have this sentence. World Part 1 represents the first component of the Worlds update, with even more to come later in the summer. For details, please visit nomansky.com, blah, 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 blah. That then changed after a couple of patch updates to read, Worlds Part 1 represents the first components of the Worlds update, with even more to come later. Well, nothing did come later in that year or that summer. It kind of tripped over. So people are thinking that Worlds Part 2 is what's on the agenda right now. Now, I done some polls. So the first one I put out there was say, what the actual fudge? Sean just dropped an emoji. Start up the engines. Here comes the hype train. Now, the odd thing is right now we still have an expedition running. We have the cursed expedition running. Now, I'm wondering, I mean, this is the cursed expedition text right here, whether this is on purpose. I'm wondering whether we're going to get an update that's going to bring in purple systems, cursed systems, right now, like next Wednesday, basically, that brings in these jellyfish as a known enemy. A little bit like they did with the Endurance expedition. And straight after, we had worm babies and infested planets start appearing inside of the game. Anyway, I've done a video on this just yesterday about, I think these jellyfish creatures are coming into game. Hit up that video there if you're not too sure what I'm on about, and take a watch and see if I might be right. It also talks about ways of getting into the realm of glass. Yeah. Anyways, so back on over here, let's take a look-see. So I'm not going to read out every single comment because I've had so many comments across all my posts. I've got a couple more tabs to get through, but I will scroll so people can see their comments on screen, and so you guys out there in the viewerverse can get an idea of what people are saying. You're going to see a pattern. A lot of people are saying, Worlds Part 2, here we come. And you're going to see that pattern re-echoed as well. So I even asked AI, what does the emoji mean? And yeah, and it feels that people are speculating Worlds Part 2. So even AI is saying Worlds Part 2 at this stage. Sweet. And we've got a couple more people there saying, yes, it could be this, it could be that. Lovely jubbly. Next up, I put, what does the emoji actually mean? Here's what Google actually has to say about the Ringed Planets emoji. It actually represents all planets. It's just makes it more discernible that it is a planet, a little bit like Saturn. Now, we've already got ringed planets inside of game. Every single system that you jump to on a galactic map has at least one ringed planet. Even if there's only one planet in the system, it's going to have a freaking ring on it. It would be nice to see a little bit more variance happening around that, and maybe even see planets with 2 rings on or something. Or you jump to a system and there isn't a ringed planet there. It'd be nice if they were a little bit rarer, and if you did find one with multiple rings, freaking great. But then, yeah, moving on a little bit, I've done some polls just to see what people think. My thoughts on what the emoji may be, what do you all think is most likely, a hint at a new expedition. Now, last year, around this time, we had the Omega expedition ran. And then we got Orbital in March. But the Omega expedition was free for all to play. So even if you didn't own No Man's Sky, you could hit up the expedition, run it, and see if No Man's Sky was for you. I think there is a chance that they might do that with another expedition. But at the same time, because we saw all that information when Worlds Part 1 come out and they changed that sentence, I kind of feel they already had Worlds Part 2 there, but already felt maybe we've given them enough this year. Let's just bring this over to the next year. We don't have to rush this. Because even the likes of Asmongold covered No Man's Sky over on YouTube and gave a heck of a lot of publicity. And I think a lot of new people did actually pick on up Omega thanks to that. I mean, the amount of new ships I saw inside of the actual space anomaly was phenomenal. So I'm hoping that did generate some sort of interest in No Man's Sky, especially since Asmongold also mentioned Light No Fire. Go hit on up Asmongold, search for Light No Fire or No Man's Sky, and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, most people inside of this poll, 78%, which was overwhelming, and I had quite a lot of votes, about 129 votes. 78% of the voting audience said Worlds Part 2 or ARG Part 4. Whenever I mention ARG Part 4, ARG Parts 1, 2 and 3 have all been about the Void Mother. We got clues that she was watching us in sound bites and clips and all sorts of other stuff. The station core has mentioned that she's watching us in some sort of encrypted text. Then we had echoes with the echo camps, and they've also alluded to the Void Mother. And then we built our own autophage up inside the station, the autophage construct, and they've also alluded to the Atlantid as being almost as equal to the Atlas, and I've speculated that we might see purple Atlas stations appearing and the voice of the Atlantid, and maybe having two paths that we can choose to align ourselves with, and that's why the Atlas Eternal path feels like it's a dead end at the moment. I've done a video on all the loose ends, and that's one of them. I'll put a link up there, go hit that up, because I think all the loose ends are pointing to ARG Part 4 being completed this year. I think it's equally possible to be ARG Part 4 as well as Worlds Part 2 bundled into one, but we will see. There's a couple of comments on here, only 4, but at the same time, Worlds Part 2 is what people are feeling at the moment. And I done another poll here. So again, I just asked, since the expedition is running, could it be that we're not going to actually see the update next week, but we're going to see a trailer next week to generate some more hype, some more interest, to push sales or to bring in new players after the expedition ends in February? Then would we see the update? But to keep people hyped and keep people interested, I feel a trailer could be on the horizon, and a lot of people think that trailer would be for Worlds Part 2. I did put in the idea of a free-to-play expedition like Omega last year. Only 11% of people feel that way and feel that could be what's on the horizon. So although it might be likely, it's not as likely as some would think. Okay, I've got one more thing for you, and here it is. So planet with rings, as per the image, now this is only planets in our known solar system. They are all gas giants or planets said to have or likely to have water or deep oceans. Kind of wondering if this might be what the emoji is hinting at. So this is another thing that's doing the rounds on most of the social media platforms right now. What if it's adding in of gas giants? Or maybe deeper ocean wells. Now, inside the data mining, we did learn that there might be purple systems coming in with deeper oceaned planets. Now, Neptune and Uranus are supposed to have some sort of liquid. Neptune is supposed to be frozen and maybe deep oceans underneath that frozen ice sheets, where Uranus is said to be gaseous, but then maybe have liquid inside the center. And who knows with Jupiter, because it's too freaking hostile, and the same with sort of Saturn, but it's more likely these are water giants and these are maybe gas giants. Could it be that we're going to get either or coming into game? Now, if we did have gas giants, in Elite Dangerous, they used to have what was called a sun scoop. You could go near to a sun or go near to a gas giant and you could harvest certain gases and certain sorts of plasma to fuel your ship or to take to other commodities and sell it. That could come to No Man's Sky, I suppose. It could be on the horizon. It is something that people have asked for a while, is gas giants. They did add in nebula gas and all sorts of other stuff, so who knows? It could be on the horizon. They have been playing with some amazing weather effects. It could be there. But you know what? I really don't know. This is one that's sort of got me a little bit foxed at the moment, people. So there are all the sorts of best guesses from the community and also from me in a roundabout way. I mean, I think that it's got something to do with what we just run in the Cursed. I think we're going to see these big weird jellyfish come into game, and I think they're going to be delivered on new sorts of planets, maybe deeper ocean planets, but also we saw a biome that's got relics on it from the past and these giant golem statues. I have done a video on data mining in the past. If I can find it, I'll put a link. I'll put it as an end card so you can just hit it from there, or I might put up the one that I did yesterday on all of the curse stuff and why I think that might be coming into game, because I give a lot of the data mining I mentioned in that video. Yeah, I'll put that as an end card. So anyway, people, that's pretty much everything I've got for you. Whatever's happening, I'm fairly excited for it. I mean, if it is Worlds Part 2 and we get more variation come into the game, that'd be fantastic. But what I really want to see from Hello Games delivered into the game right now is probably end game content. Reasons to come back and play time and time again. Some sort of raid system. If we can go into the realm of glass and get new customizations. Now we've got ship customization, it'd be nice to see that delivered in. What I would say is pretty much every start of the year, apart from when we had companions gave us mounts, but pretty much every update, when you look at them, for every single year so far, they've delivered in either a new ship type or a new bonus ship. In January, you know, we got the Starborn Runner last year, we got the Utopia Speeder the year prior, Sentinel delivered in Sentinel ships, Living Ship delivered in the Living Ship, and it's only companions that delivered in pets. So I think maybe, at the very least, we might see another starship type. And I'm wondering, that new one that we got, the Boundary Herald, there's a lot going on with boundaries. It's like these jellyfish are called the Boundary Guardians, and we got the Boundary Herald. I think that circular UFO ship type is going to be a new ship type, and I think that's going to be Atlantid ship types. I don't know whether we're going to see a new race. That would be freaking lovely if we do, but we did get that new visage of that tentacle-mouthed guy. Could it be that we're going to see an Atlantid race, those that have drunk of the water, corrupted travellers that have become Atlantified? Would be quite cool. Could be quite gnarly. But that's my super speculation. That's going off into the deep end of speculation. Okay, don't set expectations around speculation because you're likely to get burned, which we've felt in the past. But at the same time, if it doesn't happen in this update, it's ideas, isn't it, for Hello of the Games. If they do pick up this video or hear of it and see this and think, oh, an Atlantid race, that could be nice. Maybe we won't see it this update. Maybe we might see it in 6 months to a year's time. Who knows? Anyway, I mean, the autophages, that little idea of robots appearing from nowhere, I put that up on Twitter a couple of years back, and it actually got liked by Bo Lam, one of the artists that I use some of his artwork anyway, but he works at Hello Games, but he hit a like to it, and then what do you know? We got the autophage race appear at autophage camps in a parallel dimension, always been there, which was the idea of the premise of that image that I created. Anyway, people, salutamundo, goodbye, and goodbye again. Hope that's given you food for thought. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think is going to be on the cards for this emoji.